Hey YouTube, it's EvanMagician34, and I've got a Flamvell deck for you. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off with 3 copies of Flamvell Firedog, because this guy's, well, one of the most awesome Flamvells of all. Basically an instant 8-star, 7-star, or whatever you need. Got 3 copies of Flamvell Magician, our awesome 4-star guy. We're also running 1 copy of Neo Flamvell Saber. Basically this guy is just a good early beat stick that you can grab off the Firedog and hit for like 21. Or, more importantly, he's just another generic 4-star that's not a tuner. He's good for Rekindling. We're also running 1 copy of Neo Flamvell Hedgehog. This guy's amazing. Pretty much any time he dies, he does something good. He either searches your grave or he DD crows your opponent, so he's really good. Plus he's your 3-star tuner of choice. We're running 2 copies of Flamvell Pound. He's a 1-star non-tuner Flamvell you can rekindle, plus he'll search your deck for any 200 defense monster when he dies in battle. So not only does he get virtually any Flamvell, but he also gets Lila, who's going to be one of our mill engines. We're also running 1 copy of Flamvell Baby. It's a 1-star tuner, which is the main reason it's in here. It's good for rekindling. You can go get Formula Synchron and stuff like that. But it's also, its pump ability is occasionally useful out of the hand to help your Firedog run things over. We're running 3 copies of Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress. She helps force out difficult decisions from your opponent, of course. You know, do they bottomless it, do they warn it or not? And it can mill cards. It's a great first turn summon as well. Just gets that stuff into the grave to help power up your Rekindling. And destroying back rows is certainly a bonus. 2 copies of Card Trooper. It just mills really quickly and it gets around bottomless. Nothing not to like about that guy. Good beat stick too. Summoner Monk. Basically almost always going to get Flamvell Magician off of him. Just make the instant 8-star. You got plenty of spells in the deck. Glow Up Bulb, because he's a good mill. You can also summon and then resummon off his ability and he mills. Just a good card all the way around. Gore is the Emissary of Darkness. He also likes your 1-star tuners. Pretty self-explanatory though. Tragoedia, his ability to change his level makes him really useful in this deck because you got a lot of different level tuners. He can let you sink into all kinds of things. And his ability to steal things doesn't hurt either. Alright, and we're running 3 copies of Rekindling. That shouldn't be too surprising. It's like Return from the Different Dimension, only it's from your grave, and yeah, you don't have to wait like you would for the Return because this is a normal spell. So, just an amazing card. It's basically a win condition, more or less. Monster Reborn, mini Rekindling, I guess you could call it. A little more flexible, though. Mind Control, because we have plenty of tuners. Charge of the Light Brigade, mills and gets Lila. Dark Hole, obvious. Book of Moon, good way to control threats on the other side. I'm taking 1 copy of Creature Swap. You can swap a Pound, you can even swap like a Neo Flamvell Hedgehog. Lots of cool things. You can steal your opponent's big stuff with it. It's got lots of possibilities. I'm only running the 1 basically because I've been experimenting with it, but so far it's done very well for me, so no complaints. Might even try to put in a 2nd one at some point. Giant Trunade, because when you try to go off with Rekindling, you definitely don't want your opponent to have many back rows or any. Also running double MST for that same reason. Also good for controlling things like Oppression. 1 copy of Call of the Haunted. Graveyard Reanimation is definitely a theme in the deck, as if you couldn't tell. Solemn Judgment helps control those back rows. Torrential Tribute. 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. This is all just basically controlling your opponent. 2 copies of D Prison. It's a pretty popular card right now, and with good reason. There are a lot of things that don't like attacking into prison right now. It's a very useful and versatile card. Has low to no cost. Just all around really useful. And it doesn't say destroy either, which is getting to be quite a useful phrase. And last but not least, we also have 1 copy of Trap Stun. Obviously you may want to flip this before you actually do your big trick just because you can't respond to Solemn Warning with this, or Solemn Judgment. So sometimes you want to flip it preemptively and then try to do your Rekindle or your Summoner Monk or whatever you're going to do. Okay, so that's the main deck. The extra deck, which you can mess with it a little bit if you want, but here's how I went with it. I'm running 1 copy of Red Nova Dragon because this guy's one of the most satisfying win conditions there is. You basically just rekindle into him. We're also running Shooting Star Dragon. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. All these things are really easy to make with Rekindling. 2 copies of Stardust Dragon, mainly because he's a pretty usual 8-star target that you might get, say, with Fire Dog or Summoner Monk, but you also want to have a second copy available just in case you want to go for Shooting Star at some point, so 2 is quite useful. Scrap Dragon, obviously, pretty much a staple by now. 1 copy of Red Dragon Archfiend to go into Red Nova, but he's also just a good attacker. 1 copy of Colossal Fighter, very useful for hitting into other things like other 2800s. We're running 2 copies of Black Rose Dragon. We're not going to run Ancient Flamvell Deity, reason being he needs to be the Fire Tuner, which you've got, and a Pyro Monster. And your most common 4-star sinking material is actually a Beast. That's going to be the Flamvell Fire Dog. And Lila's a Spellcaster, who's another good 4-star for you. So the only Pyro you've really got, realistically, is the Neo Flamvell Saber, and we can't count on that just to get the Deity, even though the Deity does have a cool effect. So Black Rose is more useful. We're also running Bryanak, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Ally of Justice Cataster, 1 copy of Armory Arm. This also goes with the Colossal Fighter for that neat little combo. And then we're also running 2 copies of Formula Synchron, because you're probably not going to end up syncing for it enough times to justify 3, so we're going to use that space for another card. 2's enough. And there you go. That is our new dedicated Flamvell deck. And until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool videos.